All right, well, that sucked. Somehow I lost the video and audio connection last time, so let's try this again. We are back. Okay. So, all right, so because I did not have the foresight to buy new bolts, I'm going to go ahead and use my vapor hunter and clean these up, and they will at least look like new. All right, sorry about that, guys. If you're rejoining, I don't know what happened. I blame YouTube. I lost video and audio. These are the bolts that I just removed that were holding on the caliper. And I didn't have the foresight to buy new ones. So I'm going to use the vapor hunter and make them look brand new. So this is the before. Turn this guy on. Okay, I got to take the gloves off. And set this up to record. Where's the video of this? Ugh. Oh yeah, if you guys have never seen a vapor hunter, these things are awesome. It's like sandblasting, but with water and glass beads. Ta-da! They could have spent some more time on them, but they're good enough for now. Good little rinse. All right, ta-da! Here's the after. Could have spent more time Got all of this stuff off, made them look super brand new, but we're good. Okay, let's see what our next step is. Remove the brake disc. Then we have to remove the nut securing the track rod end onto the steering arm. And use the ball joint splitter to separate the rod end. All right, so we are on number 3 to remove the nut securing the track rod end into the steering arm and use a ball joint splitter to separate the rod end from the arm. All right, so now I have to figure out what all those words mean. Remove the nut securing the track rod end. Okay. Track rod end. Up a little. All right, so that should be this nut here. The nut securing the track rod end is what we have to remove next. That guy, he looks like a 17-ish millimeter. Some power tools. All right. So, it's up on me. All right. Gloves again. It's kind of top. Here's the steering arm. Oh, okay, here is the steering arm up here. So this must be the track rod end that they're talking about. So we need to remove this nut, then use a ball joint splitter to separate that piece there. this nut is a 17 millimeter. Let's see if my impact can knock it off. Yep. All right, 17 millimeter. And all right, so for you live guys, I'm removing the steering arm from the top of this, following the Elise service manual. And here is the track rod removal tool that I purchased. Okay. So, let's see, this is going to start here. This. Okay. All right. All right, so this is the track rod removal tool, just a ball joint separator essentially that I bought on eliseparts.com. So the little hook end I'm going to stick here. And the bottom end is going to go on the bottom of the where the nut used to be. And then if you tighten this guy, like so, and continue tightening that, it is going to cause this to push the pressure up here and pop that out. This is how it should work. So let's see. All right, so the head of this is also a 17 millimeter. Lower this car some. Big. All right, so just 17 millimeter with a ratchet to do this. That's not 17. All right, the head of this tool is a 19 millimeter. So we're going to take a 19 millimeter on my ratchet and tighten it. All right, that didn't take too much force, and it popped that out. This is loose. Woohoo, we did something, guys. It's exciting. All right, next step. Record the next step. Again, if you get live, guys, I have the PDF here on my screen that I'm reading off of and recording. All right, so step 4 is to remove the nut securing the top swivel joint to the steering arm and use a ball joint splitter to separate the joint from the arm. Okay, the nut securing the top swivel joint to the steering arm. Top swivel joint. Okay. All right, so I think what that means is that we are going to be removing this piece here, and there's a nut that you tighten to keep this at this distance because you can thread it in and out, and that's how you adjust it. So we're going to go ahead and loosen the nut, and then we're going to remove this piece. Okay, remove the nut, ball joint splitter, joint from the arm. Interesting. Remove the 2 M10 fitting bolts. I don't know about all that. So, what size this stuff is? 15, 17. Out of 17. 19. Oh, backup wrenches. Need a 19. 18. All right. All right, to loosen this, I'm going to need 2 19mm wrenches. And maybe if I leave this ball joint in here, hold it still, maybe I can do this. It's going to rotate. me get some PB Blaster. Yeah. All right, I got a little bit of PB Blaster. I'm going to put it here on the nut. Hopefully that will help. Let it sit there for a minute. All right. Let me reread. Remove this nut securing the top swivel joint to the steering arm. Joint from here. Fixing bolts. Camber adjustment shim plates. Whew. Top swivel joint. Let me go back up to our diagram. Removing top swivel joint to the steering arm. Top swivel joint. Upper swivel joint. Swivel joint. Track rod and steering track rod. Okay, hold the track rod in using the flats provided. Slacken the lock nut. Repeat for the opposite side. All right, that's what I'm trying to do. All right, so for those just joining, we're working on removing this ball joint from the steering rod, and there's a lock nut on it that needs two 19 millimeters, and it sucks. So trying to film this and do it. All right, so I got my two 19 millimeter spanners. I'm going to call them spanners since I'm working on a British car. Used to working on the German stuff, but it cracks me up when people call them spanners. So I'll call them spanners. All right, so let me think about this, make sure I'm doing it right. So I want to loosen this lock nut that's in the back while holding the flat end on the ball joint. So normally I want to turn it to the left, counterclockwise, but it's facing away from me. So I'm going to turn it clockwise to loosen it. So it should be like this, pulling these wrenches together. But just slip off of it. All right. Okay. Thank the Lord. All right. So that is loosened, supposedly. So loosen it all the way. And it did say to use a ball joint splitter to separate these, which seems really weird, but Can that be right? I think this is threaded on. Let me look at a new one of these things, see what that looks like. All right. Let's see, where are... That's not it. This track rod. And something there. So this is the new part that I'm going to be installing. It's threaded in here. So how do we get this off? Oh, there's another nut. Ah. Okay. Okay, after loosening this nut in the rear, now we have to do the same thing between here and this nut. So we got to back this nut off a little bit, and then we should be able to unscrew this piece. All right, so the same thing again. I think. Turning and stripping, I can't tell yet. All right, we try 18 millimeter. Ah, that's it. This is an 18 millimeter. This is an awkward angle. This sucks. Ugh. A little more PB blaster. While I'm waiting on that to soak in, I'm going to go with the other side because I know it'll be coming. All right. Ugh. Part of the bad part is not knowing for sure that I'm doing the right thing. Ugh. All right. Enough room to swing this thing in here. All right. Try to get this thing off. Rotate it some more so I can get this down lower. Get a little more leverage on it this way. All right, try this. Doesn't seem like it should be stuck on this hard. Let's see. Don't want to snap anything either. Get it fully seated. Ah. Okay. Make sure this isn't like reverse threaded. enough. Big enough. Oh. Just confirming it's not reverse threaded. All right, maybe I'm just not strong enough. I think this just slipped. Oh, maybe it worked. Oh, it did work. Oh, yes. Yes. Oh, yeah. We got it. Now let's figure out how to take them apart. Oh. That loose. All right, now what I did is I tightened these two nuts back together. So if I put force on the rear one, these should be locked and hold the rod in place so that I can remove this piece. Let's see if that works. All right, so we got a 19 on here. So I'm going to turn it down to lock it. Now, see what those wacky guys did. English whack jobs. Ugh. Ooh. Ah. Give a hand now. Hallelujah. Woo. All right. That's a lot of work. Hallelujah, guys. We just got this piece off. So, a lot of work to do that. Yeah. Okay. Don't like this at all. Here's the new one. New one is a lot longer. So that's gonna mess up the alignment pretty badly. Are they both the same? Let's see. I don't like this. Here's the new one. You can see it's quite a bit longer here. So that means I'm going to have to recalibrate those nuts, or else the alignment's going to be way off, I think. There. 009. It's the same. Try grabs. Oh gosh. All right. So let's get out of there. All right. All right, let's figure out what we got to do next. All right, I think what step 4 was talking about is actually this one. So we're going to remove this nut. We use the ball joint thing to pop this guy out. All right. 17. This is a 19 millimeter right here. Oh yeah, so you can see why you want to do this first before you move that, because it helps hold this in place. So that nut is removed. Rotate this around this way. I think we can do something we did before. Let's see which side I can reach this in better. This works. All right, there we go. Got this guy popped out. It's a small victory. All right, so that's next. Remove the nut securing the top swivel joint. Separate it. Remove the two M10 fixing bolts. And remove the steering arm from the hub carrier. Fixing bolts. Steering arm. They're calling this thing the steering arm. Let's go back up to our diagram. Steering arm. Oh. That's the steering arm. And the hub carrier. All right. Screwing the top swivel joint to the steering arm. Okay, I got it. Okay, after rereading this, step 4 is to remove this nut and separate this ball joint, which we did, and it didn't mention removing it from here. And then it said to remove 2 M10 bolts that are holding the steering arm, and this is the steering arm. So something's holding this onto the hub carrier, so that is this guy and this guy back here. So these are what we were supposed to remove next. These are so these look like they are also 8mm hex. And I want to make sure that that's seated in there well. So I'll strip it. No longer one of these guys. Bought this before and I've never used it yet, so perfect timing. Oh yeah. Oh, so much better this way. Move this camera back. This is tighter than the caliper bolt. All right, we got that guy out. Now there's one on the other side. Make sure this bit is seated in here again. All right. Again, well, you're supposed to leave that in before doing this, I think. Sugar, don't strip. I put this back in here. I'm going to reattach this nut. All right, don't remove this part first. There we go. Now, the real question is, do we need to remove this arm in the first place? I don't think so, but now we know how to do it. So we can see the bolt that went through the arm side is much longer than the one towards the front of the car. Okay. Hello, everybody watching. We are going through the instructions that I'm reading here, figuring out how to take the front suspension apart. Okay, so that was step 4. That was removing the 2 M10 fixing bolts and removing the steering arm from the hub carrier. Taking care not to misplace the camber adjustment shim plates. Okay, that's important. I didn't see any camber adjustment shim plates. Camber. Okay. All right, so this arm is now disconnected, and it said to take special care not to lose the camber adjustment shim plates. I think that's what these are here. And they are attached on years of corrosion, I guess, onto here. So I'm not going to move them for now. They fall off. This is how they were. The bottom hook side to the front of the car. So let's go ahead and remove this again now. And our whole arm will come off. So the longer piece sticking to the rear of the car that goes into the link that goes to the steering rack arm thing. Okay, let's see. Six. Step 5 is to remove the 4M10 set screws securing the lower swivel joint pliff to the hub carrier and withdraw the hub carrier from the hub assembly. So what that's talking about is these 4 guys right under here. So looks like it will be hard to get a socket on there. You might have to use a spanner. All right, these are also 17 millimeter, and I think I can get my impact down here. Let's see. Oh yeah. 1. 2. Crusty guys. Let's see, these two, no, not from there. I rotate it all the way around. Almost. But all right, 17. Oops. All right. Touching this, it's making our shims fall off. Okay, we got all of the shims. I'm going to keep these together. Let's see. So these actually seem like it would have been a lot easier to start taking off when the whole arm was assembled on here. So what's up with that, Lotus? What is this? Let's see. Little tool. All right, I spin this all the way around so that the studs are interfering with this suspension. Might be able to get enough torque on here. Loosen these things. Let's see. Yes. Got this one kind of loose. Try the rear one. Yes. Okay. Doesn't seem like the way you should do that, but it works. Let's see. We need the ratchet. All right. Seems kind of hecky, but it's working. Swing this back around the correct way. There's just barely enough room just to unthread. Is there enough room? And this bolt is pretty much captured in here. All right, I'll loosen this one. Get that ratchet captured. Crap. Oh no, oh no. Well, keep going. use the ratchet ends. If I would have done that on the first bolt, it would have got captured. I would have been able to get my ratchet off. Hopefully, I'll be able to get this out. All right, the bolt is loose. It is also captured, and now my ratchet is stuck. All right. The hub off. I have to push the bolt back up to get my ratchet out of here. And, all right, that sucked. Okay, so these two bolts are captured. There's a rotation where they can come out. I don't think so. Looks like they're going to stay until I get this plate off. So I guess it's going to be super important to remember to put them in first. Good God. Whew, really appreciating German engineering. Thank you, Sandman. Good morning to you. Working on the suspension, obviously, getting the first part of the front apart. I got the hub off. I'm half of the way there at least. On the screen, I have my PDF in the manual. I'm trying to follow along. That was step 6. That was removed. That was step 5. That was the lower swivel joint pliff. And withdraw the hub carrier and hub assembly. If necessary, remove the nuts securing the lower swivel joint to the pliff and use a ball joint splitter to separate the forged steel pliff from the joint. Yes, it is necessary. We just learned. All right, guys, step 6 says, if necessary, remove the nut securing the lower swivel joint to the pliff and use a ball joint splitter to separate the forged steel pliff from the joint. And yes, it obviously is necessary. So we're going to knock that off. Hopefully a 17 millimeter. Oh, looks like that's a 19 millimeter. Impact gun. Try to get this off. Cut the nut off. Now, take this back where it should be. And yes, we still have to use a splitter to get this off. So I'm going to get my ball joint splitter here. Open it up. Thought it popped off, but it did not. Have to do it the manual way, I guess. there. I believe we're replacing all of these, so we don't have to be too gentle with them. Jeez. Ugh. All right, that guy's no joke. We get our bolts, put them back. They came out of here. All right, I'm gonna clean these bolts up later. This plate. Just want to keep everything together from where we removed it. Okay. Looking good. Suspension is much disassembled. All right. Well, that was exciting. Oh, Daniel Robinette. No, the camera is set to follow me. Yes, I can get you a Soul. Well, I don't know. If Soul Exhaust makes an exhaust for a VW GTI, go to soulpp.com, and if they make one, I can hook you up. Dan, what's up, man? I do have a mini fridge. It is back there. You can't see it right now. All right, that's on my stream questions. Let's see. All right, what is next? We got that done. That was step 6. So step 7 is remove the bolts securing the spring damper unit to the lower wishbone and chassis anchor bracket and withdraw the unit, noting the spacer washers fitted at the top. All right, so it's saying to remove the top and the bottom ones. Let me see what size these are. Let me film. All right, we are on step 7, removing the bolts securing the spring damper unit to the lower wishbone and the chassis anchor brace bracket, and withdrawing the unit, noting the spacer washers fitted at the top end. So, in English, that's saying disconnected here from the bottom, disconnected here from the top, and there's little spacers in there that we have to keep an eye on, and then remove this piece. So, let's see how to do it. This seems to be a 17 millimeter here, and on both sides. So, let me find. All right, it's 2 17 millimeters. One here, one here. Loosen this nut. Bottom is very easy. All right, so it's actually spacers or washers, at least here on the bottom. Yep, so let's see. Bolt washer goes through another washer on the outside and a nut. We have all new hardware that we're going to be replacing. just want to keep track of all of this. And then this will just lift straight out of there. So let's check up here on the top one. All right, also both 17s. Start loosening the nuts. All right, this is the same. It's got a washer on the inside, the outside. This one is also going to have some stuff here. All right, pull it up from the bottom. All right, so here we see this thing. Oops. All right, here we see this thing is here on the left with the that part facing out. And the other one fell down. It was over here. So all reassembled, it was like this. Woohoo! Thank you, Dan. Appreciate it. All right, so we have our first shock out. It looks really rough. Bump stop down here is, the lighting's not great. You can see the bump stop is kind of chewed up down here at the bottom. It's been in there for quite some time. And it'll be nice to get a nice fresh one installed. So, all right, I'll show you guys what was in there. This one is the one that goes to the S1s, I guess. You can see that bump stock down there, pretty chewed up. Time for a nice fresh one. Yeah. All right, let's see what's next. Draw the anti-roll bar. Cruising right along, we're on step 8. Now we have to disconnect the anti-roll bar drop link from the lower wishbone and remove the lower wishbone front pivot bolt, and then withdraw the anti-roll bar with its mounting blocks. So here is our anti-roll bar, and here is the drop link to the anti-roll bar. So it said to remove the one that's connected to the lower wishbone. So that is this guy right here. This is all right, this nut again is a 17 millimeter impact on it. And this impact nut is awesome. Oh, this is super rusted here. So I'm gonna actually need to get something to hold it from behind. Looks like it's a 17 millimeter wrench. There we go, 17 millimeter to support it from the back. We got the nut off. And we can pull that out. And it did have a little washer in the front. I'm just going to capture that, put it back on there. And now everything is disconnected from that bottom wishbone. Bolts, disconnect, remove the lower wishbone front pivot bolt. Front pivot bolt. Oh. All right, so then it says to remove the lower wishbone front pivot bolt. So that is this bolt, one towards the front of the car that it pivots on, because I think it goes through and helps hold on the anti-roll bar, so we can get that off. So I'm going to remove that now. All right, this is a 17. Look this up and get a little more. All right, so this does come through to the front where this nut is on the anti-roll bar. All right, this is the nut and washer. Let's see if you can see. It came off of that block right there. That bolt goes all the way through. Pull this bolt all the way through here. Right. All right. Disconnect the anti-roll bar drop link. Remove the lower wishbone front pivot. Its mounting blocks. Within the footwell. Ooh, yeah. All right, number nine is to remove the lower wishbone rear pivot bolt from within the footwell and withdraw the wishbone. So our rear pivot bolt is this one right here, and they're saying that the other end of it is inside the footwell. So that's exciting. I'm just going to start loosening it. Just going to start trying to loosen it up from here. Whew, all right, it is past 12 o'clock. This seems like a great place to take a break. All right, thanks for watching. I'm going to take a break. It's going to be lunchtime. I will come back and continue this experiment again when we get back. So thanks for watching, guys. Be back shortly.